Hey yo, welcome to the wonderful world of Hungry Heath. I'm not a classically trained chef. What I am is a self-taught home cook. I've studied under several television chefs. I have a PhD from YouTube University and a black belt in Google Food. I love to cook. The only thing I love more than cooking is my chauffeur, the warden. She'll eat steak. Together we also like to call the Friday Night Feast. Now this happens every Friday night, 6:30 Central. We'll go live. We'll cook up an entree, maybe a couple little snacks, show you all how we do it, and then we spend the rest of the evening just chewing the fat with all of our friends in the Hungry Horde. We hope you can tune in sometime. We'd love to have you over for dinner.
Yeah.
So this is my MS journey for week 125, y'all. Can you believe it? 125 weeks of this madness.
Right.
But on this, that's kind of a downer, but on a good note, at least I'm prospering on it. I'm following my diet, I'm taking my meds, doing my DDPY. So I think like I said, I'm taking my medicine, I'm doing my exercises, I'm eating correctly. Like Dr. Berry says, proper human diet. I've eliminated all the evil toxins from my food, and I eat at home more than we go out to eat. I say that as we just made reservations. So y'all, I still love going out to eat. It's just something about it. I want to go at least once a week, sometimes more. Because what'll happen is, especially on Facebook, I'll see an advertisement, or since I'm on a bunch of different, or belong to a bunch of different rewards programs from different restaurants, I'll get an email telling me about their current special. And I'll be like, hey, Shelly, by the way, we need to go here tonight. They're doing a special for this, this, and this. And she'll be like, well, probably not. Or then we'll both sit down and collaborate together and figure out a way to keto-fy whatever they're making.
Yeah. Or like last week, we said, instead of going out to eat,
yes,
I made that freaking really delicious meal, and that ended up being like perfect. The halibut with the Brussels and all of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we could do that, but we might be going out tonight. We'll see how things play out.
Yeah.
But did you want to tell them why we're in the car, or?
Well, last week I told you I was heading to a funeral. Well, turns out I was misinformed. The memo or whatever got passed along incorrectly to me. Last week it was the planning for today's funeral for my stepfather. I almost said father-in-law, but it was my stepfather. But I don't know exactly what it was that he passed from. I'm horrible.
It was some kind of lung issue, right.
He was having really bad problems breathing, and he was in the hospital in and out for several times. And they finally were going to try and move him to hospice, but in order to do so, they had to take him off of the breathing machine. And when he did, that's when he passed on.
In 600 feet, turn right on Aldine Westfield.
So today's the actual funeral. So last week when we went, it's over an hour drive for us.
Because y'all, we are on the north side of the town. We're actually about an hour north of Houston is where we live, in a little town called Spring. Well, my stepfather grew up and is from a little town about an hour and a half south of Houston called Santa Fe. So that's where the funeral home is located at, and that's where we're also doing the, they're not actually doing a funeral because he's being cremated, so they're doing a celebration of life. And a lot of his friends are going to stand up and give, like, a eulogy.
Yeah. His mother doesn't like the terminology of a funeral, and I get that. There are a lot of people. Yeah.
Excuse me.
So she's just calling a celebration of life. So that's what we're doing.
Goodbye.
So yeah, last week we had to go because she needed, emotional support while she was, meeting with the funeral home on how to get everything planned exactly. You know how I think most of us have probably gone through that once in our life at least.
And of course, it's never fun.
No. And so then after that, then that's when they said, okay, it's today. And she did it in the afternoon, thank goodness, because, I'm not a morning person.
Right. I was going to say, it gives everybody time to get over there. Because of where it's located. Because a couple of people are also coming in from out of state. So.
Yeah. and some people further out than
Houston.
us.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it's an hour 15 drive.
And of course, it decides to storm and rain today. It showed it was supposed to be doing all week, but I thought it was going to be kind of mellowed out for this weekend, but obviously not.
Well, and it said that, you know, when you looked it up earlier, the radar said, you know, at 1 o'clock it'd only be a 15% chance, but
this is the 15%
obviously we're
right
in
here.
the 15.
Right.
So yeah, so we're driving in, and the only thing is that's why I tell y'all about Houston. If you're coming here for the cruise, and you're like, oh, I can just go to Galveston or whatever, I'm just like, it's a whole day. Like last weekend, because we had lots of other plans we wanted to do, but by the time by the time we got there, even though it was in the morning, it took a couple hours for the planning. By the time we left, I mean, we were gone literally all day long.
Yes.
And that was just for something that we were only there for a couple hours, but it just seemed to take forever. I felt like it took us longer to get home from there than it did to get home from Austin.
Yes, it really did. It felt that way.
It did.
Great. Well, we also made a couple of pit stops on the way. Like, well, we're already out. We need to get this, and this. So let's just go.
I know, but it just took forever.
Speaking of, we said also we're going to hit the store on the way home, but I didn't bring any of our bags.
Oh.
Well, because
I don't know.
all this rain threw me off, and I don't want to do that now.
Yeah.
Because if y'all saw the Friday Night Feast the other night, last night, well, it would have been Friday, last night. I have a lot of that, the noschetti left over. So I was wanting to buy a couple of bell peppers, stuff them with that, and have that for dinner one night this week. I mean, you know, so the rain got to mess with me.
Right. Well, hopefully, because when we were looking at the radar, it showed everything was clear in the south part of Houston. So I'm hoping to see the bright sunny horizons coming up.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and then the poor dogs. I mean, again, I feel very, very fortunate to have Samson and Delilah because I feel like they're so awesome. So earlier, not too long before we left, they were like, hey, they signaled they need to go out. And I'm like, okay, this is good. Get you to go out before we leave. Because it'll be hours before we're home. I know. I hope they can hear us. But anyhow, so I took them out. And I mean, our backyard is like a freaking lake. Like, even some of our pavestones are completely covered by water. And, both Samson and Delilah, they just go running through the water, and they both have to, you know, do number 1 and number 2, and they had no problem just doing it right there in the lake.
Well, because remember this morning when I got up to let them out?
Yeah.
Samson didn't want to go out. Because y'all, off our bedroom, we have a sliding door going from our bedroom to the back porch. And then we have, typical, a bedroom door leading out to our hallway and to the rest of the house. Well, typically, every morning, they both line up at the back door of the sliding door so I can let them out to go potty. Well, the last couple of mornings, because of the weather, he did not want to go outside. So he went and stood right by the door leading to the hallway. So I let him out. She got a little concerned. He was going to mess there in the living room. So I hurried up and ran and caught up with him. And he was just sitting on the couch chilling, curled up in a ball. So I helped him off the couch, got him outside, and he ran around the corner. Because what he'll do, we have 2 gates on the porch. One of them is active. The other one we tied it open so they can come and go as easily. Because one of them they can push it open, but they can't open it back up.
Right.
Because they don't have thumbs. I even tried putting a string on it so he could pull it and open it, but they haven't figured it out yet. But that's fine. But maybe I'm just expecting too much of him.
Well, you got to work on it.
Right. But anyways, so he hopped off the deck. He loves doing this. He'll hop off or go out the one gate, hop onto the yard, and immediately run all the way around, jump back on the deck, and run back to the door. to get back in the house. But he never went and potty. He's like, well, I got off. I'm good enough. I was like, we had to talk for a second, and then I convinced him to go in the yard, and he finally it looked like he was shrugging his shoulders because, you know, it was raining. And he ran over to this little clump of trees in the middle of the yard. He ran over to the middle of them and went.
Yeah.
But it was funny. It looked like he just shrugged his arms, like, oh, all right, I'll go. And he went.
Take it. Why do I have to go?
Right.
I know. Well, they were good with me, but I go out with them.
I did too.
And I'll open the gate for them, and then I watch them, and then as they're going, I'm like, good boy, good girl.
Well, because usually in the mornings, though, what I do is I'll let them out and then I'll go get dressed. And by the time I finish getting dressed, then I'm ready to let them back in.
Right. Ooh, it's starting to clear up.
Don't jinx us, but I'm multitasking. Because then I'll walk into the kitchen, I'll put my sausage into the air fryer to cook. Then I'll start getting all their stuff out to make their breakfast and start on your coffee. But I always put my sausage on first, so it's cooking while I'm doing everything else.
Yeah. So, yeah, I went out with them, and because our deck is covered. Now, when it's storming like this, even a cover ain't going to protect it. Like, you have to have the screens on, and
right.
We didn't do all that. But it is covered, and...
then into the gutters.
Yeah.
That would help.
And anyway, so then, yeah, they both pottied and went number 2, and I was just so happy for them, even though their paws were soaked because it like went halfway up their legs. That's how deep the water is.
Forgot to get the towel out for you too.
Yeah.
We have a couple of old towels we use for cleaning up messes.
Yeah. Does anybody else do that? Like, I hate to throw out a towel, but it's not a good enough towel to like actually use. Like it's torn and has holes or whatever.
There's 2 of them. They're orange, like bright orange. I don't know where I got them, but they're giant beach size towels. And now I've had them longer than I've had the wife. They're from my original bachelor pad.
They're like 20 years old?
Probably from my very first apartment. Because y'all, I hate regular towels. Even at home, I have another couple of beach towels that I use for my bath towels. I don't know, even though I'm not as robust as I used to be, I still like having the big towel. It's like even on the cruise, y'all probably heard me talk about it. I'll go out to the pool deck, grab a couple of towels, and take them back to our cabin. Because they're bigger.
Well, and I think it's because you're also a tall guy.
Yeah, that too, I guess.
So it just makes sense. Because, you know, like, sometimes you get those, like, hotel towels, and it's like, is
trying to
this
dry
supposed
off
to cover?
with a hand towel.
Right? How am I supposed to dry off with this? So, yeah, so we
keep all the good towels in
in our bathroom.
In our bathroom or in the middle bathroom. We have a nice set for the guest bath too.
Yeah.
And then in the pantry, in the laundry room, I have all the towels.
Right. We have like a little tote or bin, or actually it's an old laundry hamper.
Yeah.
And we just like
fold them up, stack them on there.
We'll wash them, and then we just have a stack of not yet ready to throw away, but not good enough to use for drying off.
The towel looks good too. I have another. It's a brown one, but it's weird. It's got it happens on 2 sections of it. The stitching on it or the thread on it got all bunched up, and you can't straighten it out totally.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know
how
how
some
it
of
does.
Well, what it is it has a band on each end,
right.
About 2 inches from the actual end.
Yeah.
And what happens is when you wash and dry it, that stitching tightens up and shrinks up, which then pulls it so it, So
that just becomes a cleanup towel.
Yeah.
Y'all may have seen it the other night when we were cooking. I put it down on the table first when I was opening up all that meat. That if I make a mess, that just collects it. I don't have to worry about dirtying up a towel, a good one, or staining it, because if that gets stained, so what?
Yeah, and actually, I think it does have a stain.
Well, that's what it's for. It's a drop cloth, basically.
Yeah. So anybody else do that? Let us know. We're not alone.
Like I said, I'm upcycling.
Right.
Don't replace, reuse.
Yeah. So, that's what we do. But yeah, when it's been raining like this, even though I have like a little doormat, I like to put another towel down just so the dogs can dry their feet a little better. And
she's trying to teach them how to dry their feet too.
I know, I do. Because I have another doormat on the outside there on the deck, and I try to teach them how to like scoot their feet on that so that they can dry it off.
Didn't we used to have one right there that said wipe your paws?
Oh, maybe.
I think it got torn up, so that's why we don't have it anymore.
Oh.
Well, because it's outside. Nothing lasts forever outside.
That's true.
Especially not with our dogs.
But yeah, so they just did really well. Especially because like I don't want to go out in this weather.
Nope.
But I'm glad they did. And I'm glad when they wanted to go out, it actually had a break in the rain.
Yes.
So like right now when it's poured down, like I can understand them not being like, oh, I ain't gonna go out in this. But Sam is good because it doesn't seem like the rain really bothers him. Like he'll run out where Delilah will be like, she'll just look at me and she's like, are you serious? Like, no.
A little prissy.
And then he's just like, yeah, this is what you do.
I gotta go. We're gonna go.
Right. So they're being good, and I just hate leaving them. Sometimes I just wish
I don't know who gets separate anxiety more, for you or the dogs.
I know. I already miss
So cute.
them. I want them with me all the time. Like
She's trying to figure out a way to take them on the cruise with us.
I know. Like, for sure. Wouldn't that be so much fun? I mean, it is, but then it isn't, because, like, on a cruise, I heard if you have, like, a dog that you bring for, disability reasons, like, there's just certain areas you can take them to use the restroom. And,
Yeah, how would you do that? Yeah, I've never seen that area. On the cruise, like on the ship, on sea days especially.
well, and I can be nosy get off the ship with them at certain boards.
Right.
I don't know what the requirements are, but anyway, no, it's usually like in a athletic type area where they have a little like ring, not real ring, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's what I've heard.
Faux grass.
But don't quote me on it because I've never actually done it. Like I didn't look that deep into it because
We're not taking them, so.
yeah, and I just feel like, it is nice for them to just be in their home and not be stressed because I think Delilah would do well. She'd be like, whatever, I'm cool.
What's the name of that place up here by the airport we've taken them before?
Oh, Pet Paradise.
Now see, we've done that before when we've gone on cruises or vacations, but also with Samson being a rescue, and we still, not even a year, right?
No, it's over a year and a half.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was in January of 22.
But what I was getting at is that with us rescuing him, I don't want him to have like trauma or whatever. Maybe I'm just being too soft, but I don't want him thinking we abandoned him also. And
Yeah,
got rid of him.
and him thinking, oh great, now I'm back at this place, even though it'd be a way nicer than the kennel he was at, but
Right.
still,
I just feel bad.
I know, and I just feel like stress-wise,
Yes.
it's a lot easier for them just to be in their same environment, with their same, food, water, all of that, so...
They have their own little beds right beside our beds. And then the only thing's going to change is we're going to move them from our bedroom to the living room for them.
Yeah, so then they'll have the couch and their beds.
Yes.
But, yeah, so... Aww.
And we've already taught my nephew how to feed them because we give them raw food. We don't give them kibble. I
Yeah.
have these big logs. We cut. Well, actually, that's what we do. We put them in the refrigerator, let them thaw. Once they're thawed, I cut them in half and then put them in a Ziploc. And then we peel some off and give it to them.
Yeah.
Rinse
So,
and repeat.
right. So, I know we've gotten way off topic, so you said...
Because, my MS Journey and Dog Talk.
I know, right? If it's not the cruise.
Right. Well, that's the thing, too. We're still gearing up for the cruise. I got a lot more stuff to do around the house, a lot more stuff to cook, a lot more stuff to plan.
Yeah.
And then y'all should have heard us talking last night about how I'm kind of having a mini dilemma on how to season everything, but y'all talked me into it and told me what I need to do. So,
Thank you.
yes, thank you for all your help.
So, yeah, we're really getting excited because, like Debbie made a post today, 3 weeks from today, will be the official pre-cruise day.
Speaking of, while we're on the cruise, I will not be releasing an MS Journey for that week. Instead, we're going to be doing daily vlogs of the cruise, and I'll be showing y'all what I'm eating the same way I show now.
Yeah.
So we'll do a little recap, and we'll probably do a little intro like we do for now, like an MS Journey, and we'll do a little recap at the end.
Yeah.
So it'll be a week-long MS Journey. I mean, because it just makes it easy. And then I'm just not sitting there one day on the cruise or when I get back doing this.
Right.
So we're just going to, you'll get a daily MS Journey. And
Just a daily vlog.
I'm going to tag it or put it in the playlist too.
Yeah, so I'm super excited.
Yes.
3 weeks. Like, that is crazy to me.
I'm going to count it up. Oh, excuse me. We only have 2 more Friday Night Feasts before we go.
I know.
Because on the 2nd, we're not doing a Friday Night Feast because we're gonna be too busy entertaining guests. We have a lot of people coming over to the house for dinner.
I know, I'm getting so excited because it's like Shauna will be here that Wednesday before. We're gonna get her that evening, and then Thursday Sharon will be here, and then Friday Sarah and Jennifer will be coming in that morning. So we're gonna have like a full house in our house before the actual barbecue meetup. So
yes.
I'm excited. So if you're coming in, whether it's Thursday, Friday, either of those days, and you want to just hang out at our house, just
come on over.
Just message and I'll send you the address, and you can come over anytime you want.
And then
just,
also
I might put you to work.
Right? I was telling her last night that I've already figured it out too, because y'all, we have a 3-car driveway, and I was already telling her how I'm going to pull my truck and move it out of the way so that more people can pull up and park in the garage. Not in the garage, I don't have any room for the garage, but they can at least park in the driveway. Because I know a couple of y'all are driving in.
Yeah. So
I'm going to move my truck out of the way so y'all can be a little bit easier.
Yeah. So hopefully we get like 2 other cars there and
yeah.
driveway.
And we're on a corner lot, so you can park around the block on it too.
Yeah, so you can park on the main street or right in front of our house, which is the side street.
Yeah.
So we'll get that all straightened out, figured out and stuff. So yeah, I'm just like, wow, it's getting real.
Right?
So I am just super excited, and it's like, so much, and we've been heavy working, like you fixing the guest bed so that there's not any issues there. So it needed new slats.
Yeah.
So it's an old bed from like the 1800s, and the slats have been gone forever, or ever since I got it. So he went and built actual slats, which we've needed to do for a long time.
It still bothers me saying I built. I didn't build anything. I attached. I took some 2x6s and cut them to fit.
Okay, but not everybody has the machinery and the ability to do that.
I guess.
So to me, you built it, and you attached it, like you screwed it onto the bed so that it ain't going anywhere, because all before used to slats, they could move.
Right.
You know, like the ones on our bed, they could slide around a little bit.
So since we're mentioning all this, I'll go ahead and throw some pictures in for y'all. Show you, because on the sideboard, there's 2 blocks built onto the bed, and there's little V-shaped cuts in it where a slat could sit in.
Little tiny slat too. Like,
well, and also, and I figured they'd sit like this. Well, the board I put, it's going like this.
Yeah.
And so it's 2 inches thick, 6 inches wide. And I didn't want to have to try and mimic the little cut they had and fit one in there, and I figured, why? Why don't I just slap a piece on and screw it down and be done?
Yeah.
And then the board, because what it happens, it's not really that dangerous, it's just annoying that the bed frame, okay, you got the mattress, the box spring, and then the frame. When the pieces sit on top, they sit down, if you bump it wrong, it does like that, and it kind of slides in.
Yeah.
And we didn't want it to happen while somebody's actually sleeping in the bed.
Right. Like, I don't think you were like being dramatic, like, oh, you'd be
an ejection seat.
An ejection. It's not that dramatic. Like, it would just, all of a sudden, you're just like this.
Yeah. Almost like getting a flat tire where you just kind of
Right. So I didn't want, that to happen, because then it's also a pain in the butt
to get it back out and up.
Yeah. Because it
there's no handles on the box spring.
Yeah.
And you almost have to put your hand through it and make you a hole so you can pick it up and everything. It's just annoying.
So, yeah, it's just a little bit of an issue trying to get it to line up just perfect. So this way,
balance it.
Right. This way you don't have to worry about it for ever again. Like, it's going to fit perfectly. Oh, shoot. I see a big wreck up there.
Oh, no.
And
of course,
on the other side.
Of course, I heat rated it.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. Back when I was my remodeling company, anytime we built anything, like I was building decks or building the stairs and everything, going in, if anybody's going to be walking on it, we had to make it to where it'll carry me. If I don't damage it just for me walking on it, this is back when I was like, nearly 500 pounds, that I know it would carry anybody else. So,
right.
And I still have that mentality.
Right.
I still heat rate everything.
Yes.
Maybe it's overkill, but at least we don't have to worry.
Right. So that's all done. So he did that this week, which was great and so helpful. And then on the 30th, you're going to be delivering all of the swag to the cruise line.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
Because what it does is they told us that the cruise line told the Debbie and Kathy, the cruise line, their low carb coordinators, people who are planning the whole event, that they cannot hand deliver the stuff themselves, carry it on.
Yeah.
It has to be palletized. The cruise line has to use a forklift to load everything up. It's like I said, they have to put it on pallets. So what I have to do is load up my truck, take it over there to the facility so they can do all that, and then they ship it over to the cruise line.
And what you did, the facility is on the south part.
Yes.
Like everything.
Well, it makes sense though, because the cruise line, the port is on the south side.
I know. It's just funny to me, like.
But it's okay because it's an area where I grew up at. Because y'all went to school down that way.
Yeah, he is very familiar with the south side.
Yeah, I grew up in Alvin, went to school in Deer Park, and then graduated in Pearland. So that's all south side, and then lived in Webster, Clear Lake area. So.
Yes. Whereas I'm like, the south side to me was just going downtown.
Well, it's funny, like your mother would pull stuff like, we want to go out to eat or whatever. We want to go eat like downtown Houston. She's like, oh no, it's too far. But then she's like, oh, well, can we go to this one restaurant in Galveston? We're like,
yeah.
We're like, Mom, that's an hour south. Further south than what you don't want to go to. What are you talking about? Yeah, but the restaurant's so good.
I know.
I'm like,
she
what?
loved going
It's hilarious, though.
It was, I think it's just the whole ambiance, because it's looking over the water, and it's an upscale, like, white linen cloth type restaurant.
Yeah, I know, but just funny.
I know. I know. I get it.
Too far.
Going downtown? That's crazy.
Just downtown just turns your stomach just anyways.
I know.
Well, I mean, I hated working down there because every other street is the other way.
Yeah, downtown.
And then, like when I would work down there, because when I first started doing cabinets, I was doing commercial. We were working on schools and hospitals. And downtown for the hospitals was awful.
Oh,
because I had to put my job box, all my tools and everything, on a little 4-wheel dolly, go to the park in a parking garage, load my tools, and then push my stuff like a homeless cart down to the job site. That's what it felt like. I had one of those 2-wheel dollies that turned into a 4-wheeler. Load my stuff on it and then walk it down there. And then I got, so then I got all my tools, my ladder and everything hanging off.
How many times did you forget something?
I know. That's what was the worst.
If anybody knows me.
But then what was awesome too on that, is there to be at least every contractor there, every company had their own room on the job site. Well, that's where everybody left their tools overnight.
Oh, so
and then every one of us on the crew had our own job box, and then we would buy a chain or one of those heavy duty bicycle cables, link everybody's stuff together, and everybody put their own lock on it.
Oh.
So my lock was locked to your box, and your box was locked to his box. It was fun. It was an ordeal. And like I said, and anything you do, and a lot of times too is, well, when we're lucky, it would be a remodel, so the air conditioner would be working, or the elevator would be working. But sometimes it's a new building and none of that stuff worked. So then you had to carry all your stuff.
Thing.
Yes. And when it was a brand new building, that was fun.
Well, that's why you hated working on new homes.
Yeah,
because
that too.
A, there wouldn't be air conditioning.
Right.
And then B, the yards wouldn't be installed yet. So it'd just be like when you have this, it'd be a mud pit. Or
so when I switched over from commercial to residential, then I'm working on new homes, and what I was doing, I would have to go in first, measure the house for the cabinets, then I'd go back afterwards and make sure that they were installed correctly. Then I'd go back again and do maintenance or service work on the or pre-occupation or once they're occupied. So it was fun times. I know, it's just first world problems. But really bad about it is with my physical ailments now and mobility issues, I can't do that work anymore. It drives me nuts because I don't feel comfortable getting on a ladder. And for doing cabinets, I have to get on a ladder because we got to install the cabinets, the uppers, your wall cabinets, and then I have to install the crown and the molding, all the millwork and stuff on it. So,
right.
Well, so I mean, I know how to do all that stuff. I can still go in and measure the house and ridicule the guys that are doing it, but I don't know, just getting this company to understand it. And then, like I said, and that was really bad on days like this when it was raining too, because then the builder didn't want you parking in the garage because he was afraid your vehicle was going to leak on his brand new driveway, which makes sense. You don't want a house with a bunch of oil stains on it, when you're buying a brand new house. And then we couldn't do any of our cutting of the material inside the house or even in the garage because they didn't want to clean up after you, which makes sense. But then when it's raining like this, how can I do all that stuff out in the yard or out in the driveway or in the street or whatever? So I know, first world problems, bigger things to deal with, but thank y'all for humoring me on this little trip down memory lane. But like I told you, I'm a third generation cabinet maker, so this is what I know.
So we're just now downtown.
We're right next to Minute Maid Park, where the Astros play.
32 minutes using the tollway.
Yeah, and we're stuck in traffic now. We're gonna slow down. Like I said, right to our right here to my right, I'm looking at Minute Maid Park.
Yes, that gives you a rough idea. But yeah, it's always backed up right here, like no matter what. And then also with the rain,
it throws everything off. Because in fact, it messed me up today too. Because we had planned we were going to go to Dutch before we come down here. But we looked at, she saw how long it's going to take. She's like, nope, we don't have time. Possibly, if we're lucky, we can hit them on the way home. Yeah, it's perfect because, you want to get off here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and it just shows red until and this is the thing. Also, the reason it backs up is because you have, this is 59, and then the exit for 45 is coming up. So then you have all the people who are
last minute Nancy.
Yeah, they're
last
like,
minute Larry.
oh, I'm in the far left lane. I need to get over to the far right lane. Even though there's tons of signs and the roads are actually labeled with what is what.
But you gotta learn how to read.
Yeah. And then guaranteed there's some people coming up here who are going to be like, oh, wait, I don't want to be off on 45. Right.
Because the two biggest roads in Houston, they kind of dissect Houston, is I-10 and 45. That helps, y'all.
Yeah. Basically, if you do go to Galveston or South Part of town or Kemah and you're trying to figure out how to get back to the hotel, just find 45. You can get there.
45
and it might take a little while longer, but if you can find 45 north, you will get to the right part of town.
Another pro tip I wanted to tell them, I was thinking about that the other day, because we've done this before when we've gone on road trips to other states, is we got their toll pass. We ordered it online and had them shipped to us. Y'all need to do that too, I would recommend. Because we have, at least four tollways in Houston. The biggest one is called Beltway 8.
Yeah.
or the Sam Houston Parkway. That makes we have several loops. We have this in the inner loop is called 610. There's one loop around downtown. The outer loop is Beltway 8. That's the tollway. Now, then we have the new one. It's a bigger loop they've put in a couple years ago called
99.
Yeah, 99. It's not totally complete yet. And then they have several other ones. I don't know if they're going to have to mess with any of the other ones. They should.
Well, and I don't even know if you'll have to mess with that. It all depends on how much, like if you're just coming in Friday or even Saturday, you probably aren't going to need it. Well, I would say don't even mess with it.
All right. Well, I just love how the fact that if you're coming from the south side of town, though, that the 99 actually dumps off into our neighborhood.
You mean the tollway?
The tollway,
not 99.
Yes. Yeah. The Hardy Tollway, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right, but
so if you plan on doing a lot of driving, those what I'm saying. Because what I was trying to get at, though, they took out all of the actual toll booths, so you don't ever stop and pay the toll. Yes. Now, if you're on the tollway and drive through it, they're gonna mail you a bill for it, and it's a little higher than just having the sticker.
Yeah.
If I have a tendency, I guess, with me heat rating, I overdo a lot of stuff. So. But again,
it's if you're coming in Thursday or Friday and you're like, oh, I'm going to go to Galveston, or I want to go, to this part or that, or maybe a museum or Kemah or a theme park or whatever, then you might be interested in that. But then.
Depends on what you're doing. I just want to get the information to you if you want it.
Yes.
I'll have a link down below. You don't have to do anything with it. It's just I'd rather have you know, and because my thing is I'd rather you have it and not use it than need it and not have it. I mean, I guess that's the way it was with me while working with my tools. I either loaded up all the tools I would need, possibly, because I'd rather get to the job and not need the tool than get and not use the tool. Or get there and need something and not have it.
Oh, yeah.
So that same mentality, I use that for everything. Mm-hmm. So, I said I'm overdoing it.
That's all right. But I just wanted people to know it's not like required to get around Houston. You can still get around.
I feel like it is for me. Maybe it's because I live here.
Well, but like your youngest brother lives here too, and he absolutely hates it and refuses to use it. So, yeah, if you're fine taking extra time to get to places, then, you don't have to have it. I'm more like, time is money, and especially like today, since it's taking an hour and 15 minutes, hey, if we can shave 5-10 minutes off.
Yep. Because that's the other thing, too. My dad would always laugh at me. He goes, you've been going to that destination your whole life, and you still need a GPS to get there? What's wrong with you, son? Dad, the GPS tells me when there's road closures, when there's a wreck, and tells me where to avoid. Yeah. I'm using the tools to my advantage. Another thing you taught me, and I'm applying it, now you're mad at me about it? Because he got so mad, too, because he wanted to take me hunting with him. He grew up hunting. Well, Texas law says in order for you to get your hunting license, you have to pass a hunter safety course. I aced the course. He passed, but he got say a 90 or whatever on it. He missed 2 questions, I think, on the test. He was so mad that I got 100 and he got a 90. And I was like, well, it's because of everything you taught me my whole life. I said, you're the one that taught me everything, so that's why I passed it. I didn't even have to take their class. I just took your class, basically.
Right?
Because, he grew up hunting. Had his parents, grandparents, everything taught him. So...
Well, you paid attention to what he was telling you.
My whole life.
And he would probably told you, the correct way, and then he did it another way kind of thing.
It's kind of like what I always say, the right way, wrong way, Heath's way.
Right?
There was right way, wrong way, and Benny's way.
Or when you're at a job, they'll say, well, here's the correct procedure, but here's how I do it.
Here's how we really do it.
Right.
This is how you're supposed to do it in theory, but here's how it actually works.
Here we do. I'm going to skip all these, which is sometimes hard because, when I'm training people, I'm like, oh, I got to train to the document because, I skipped these 3 steps because I realized, I don't have to have that. I can just move ahead here. Right. And then now it's like, oh, yeah, I should have had that. Gulf Freeway. Wow, 25 more miles.
I thought yeah.
So
See, that's what's kind of confusing too.
Dot Coffee Shop.
We're technically on the Gulf Freeway right now,
I know.
but once you get down further south, it changes names.
I know.
So that's where it's thrown. Well, the Dot Coffee Shop is actually a sit-down restaurant.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Because we used to go there a lot for our company meetings when I worked for that one cabinet company.
Well, we've gone there several times because remember you used to love their freaking breakfast.
Yeah. And I think they're 24 hours also.
Yeah, they're 24 hours. So, if you went to a concert, oh, goodness.
And you know who else owns them? They're a Landry's restaurant.
Oh, they're Landry's?
I thought.
Oh,
maybe they are
I
Papa's.
think so.
They're either Landry's.
Right.
There's two big restaurants in town, 2 franchises, Landry's and Papa's.
Yeah.
And then one of the 2 owns them. I would look it up, but I'm using my phone.
I think it is Landry's. I think you're right.
And then Landry's owns almost like half of Galveston Island too.
Yeah, or the Moody's own the other half.
Right. It's an old family there.
Yeah, but there's a lot of fun to have. I was seeing people where Debbie asked today, in 3 weeks, what will you be doing? And there were several people who commented that they'd be going to Galveston.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome because there is a lot to see. Galveston's an old beach town, so there are a lot of, like if you're into old mansions, so there's the Moody Mansions and one of them, I think it's Bishop's Palace and all of that. Then plus there is Moody Gardens. There's Schlitterbahn.
What time of the year do they do a Dickens on the Strand? Christmas time.
Hence Dickens.
Okay. But it's like old English style celebration.
Yeah. So, and I love going to the Strand to shop. It has a lot of cute shops there. And then the Schlitterbahn is a water park, and that's fun. I've gone there before, and it's enjoyable for the day. But I just imagine on June 3rd, everybody out of school and everything. But yeah, if you're into going to Galveston, there's a lot to do there. If you're just kind of like, hey, because I saw a few people are like, well, we're just gonna stay, near the hotel. There's still a lot to do near the hotel. I mean, you're going to have to still drive about 10-15 minutes out because when you're staying at an airport hotel, it's called an airport hotel because you're at the airport. And so to get outside of the airport, it's going to take about 15 minutes. So just to give you a heads up if you're like going to have to Uber or something. But I love Old Town Spring. Again, very old town from the 1840s, so lots of old shops and neat things, cute little kind of like with I think they're called like a tea room, so it's a fun little old town. I mean, it's only 3 miles from our house. And then we got great barbecue. You got to plan early though. So I just hope everybody has fun and don't just feel like, well, it's just Houston. What am I going to do? Sit here at the hotel all day Saturday? Like, do some things. There are some fun things to do here. And we're going to take Shauna, Sharon, and I don't know if there'll be anybody else, but for sure those 2. Everybody else I think is still up in the air. But we're going to head out to Tomball Farmers Market that day. So that is about roughly 30 minutes from the airport. And we're going to head out there. And it opens at like 9 a.m.
What were you saying? There's 2 coffee shops there you want to try?
Well, so I think somebody said they have 3, but I know for sure 2 vendors are coffee. So one of them is called District Roasters, and we actually know the owner's son and wife. But anyways, and they usually have nitro cold brew on tap, and then they'll also have some hot coffee if you want any of theirs. And then there's another booth, and I think theirs is called like Purify. And they also will have, now they do more of like your flavor type coffee. So they'll have like, I think 3 or 4 of their different roasts. So these are local roasters. And they'll also have where they can add like different sugar-free syrups or regular syrups. But Tomball is pretty, I feel like at Tomball in the north of Houston, like people know of keto, right? It's not going to be like, what's keto? Like they're pretty familiar with it. And so last time I was there, they did have some sugar-free options. And of course they had heavy cream. So you can get, you know, kind of a more fancied coffee if you want something more than just a black coffee or just a coffee with a little creamer. Then Purify will have more options there. And then there's all kinds of other booths. There's, you know, some handcrafts. There's a booth with doggy treats.
Right.
If you know a dog or somebody with a dog, I'm just playing. But there is a booth that has doggy treats, so that's really cute. And then I'm trying to. There's actually, I've seen her. I can't now. Sometimes the vendor lineups change. You know, because they have some that are. I think there's 20 that are like permanent, and then they have some that they rotate.
Is Dapper Goat going to be there that weekend? Do you know
We
yet?
don't know yet.
Because y'all, there's one homegrown or family-owned. They do it. It's a goat farm, and they make the best goat cheese we've ever had.
Yes.
We love, and they sell it to you frozen, so you can bring it home and either keep it in the freezer or just thaw it out, and it's like perfect.
Right.
And it's really cool too. The little container they put it in, it's about the same size like you used to buy the old school. It's red. We make it cheese. Like the pimento cheese container, the little plastic tubs you get at the grocery store. It's about the same size.
Right. So if you want, those of you that are going with us and you're driving, of course if you're flying you really can't.
Right.
But if you're driving and you want that, then you can just leave it in our. We have a deep freeze. You can leave it in our deep freeze until after the cruise, and then
we're gonna get some. I think
maybe
because I love their stuff.
Or you just buy one and plan on eating it that Saturday.
Right, that's true too.
Have it with your dinner for the pre-cruise dinner.
Yes.
Right? Or like Lynette lives in Missouri City, which isn't too far from where we're going. So she might want to, if she feels like it, go with us to the farmer's market. And she might even want to get some of that Dapper Goat because it's really good goat cheese.
It really is.
And they sell raw goat milk. So again, those of y'all that are in this area, if you want some raw goat milk, again, it is like, you know, I know they have it today, but I don't know if they'll have it next week kind of thing. But they usually announce about 2 days prior to Saturday, you know, if they'll be at the Tomball and what will be available.
And then occasionally too, they'll have a booth that sells duck eggs. I love hitting them up.
It's called Three Sister Farms.
Yeah.
And they sell, of course, chicken eggs, duck eggs. They have all the meats. You know, beef, pork, chicken, turkey. There'll be a couple other booths that have meat. One that I really like is called Katera with a K, Katera Farms.
Their steaks are amazing.
Katera Exotic Farms. So again, if you're in this area, you buy it frozen. So again, if you are traveling in, like I know a couple of the Hungry Horde are like from Oklahoma or nearby and they're driving in. Yeah, if you want to buy it and store it in our freezer.
Doesn't also the Tomball's Farmers Market, don't they have a Facebook page too?
Yeah.
Did you go in and check and see what vendors are going to be there?
Yeah, they'll put that in there. But yeah, Katera Exotic, I mean, oh my gosh, their ribeyes are amazing. So yeah.
Talk me into it, we're getting some.
And then of course there's plenty of produce.
Yes. Well, you have this one guy we go see. He sells jalapeños and other peppers there.
But again,
he's sporadic too.
Yeah. And then there'll be there's somebody who deals mushrooms.
Yes.
not
edible. Well, I guess
the cooking kind.
Right.
And then there is somebody, and I think though she uses almond flour, but she calls it low carb treats. So she'll have like low carb muffins and cupcakes, that kind of stuff when she's there. So yeah, it's going to be fun going to the farmer's market.
The one guy that makes the barbecue sauces we bought from him before, and he does the sugar-free.
Sugar-free barbecue sauce.
And it's really good, too. I just still partial to my own because I like to cook.
Right. But yeah, he'll be there. I mean, there's just, it's a fun market to go to. It's always busy. And it's just, it's a lot of fun. So we're going to go do that, and then I think by the time we're finished walking all around there, it'll probably be time for lunch, and we'll meet a few people at a place called Crafty, with a C, Crab.
With a C.
Crafty Crab, and that's about, I think, 15 to 20 minutes from the hotel, and we'll probably be meeting there around lunchtime.
And we'll go ahead and I'll put a link to all that stuff down below.
I hope you remember.
Yes.
But yeah, we're going to go there for lunch, and they do a lot of like seafood boils.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, or steamed seafood as well. So we're going to go there, and I think so far there's like 6 or 7 of us that are going to just meet up, but anybody can go anytime. The place is pretty big.
We've gone once to the troubleshoot or whatever recon for y'all to see what the skinny is on it. It's a huge place. Should have plenty of seating.
Yeah. So we're gonna go do that.
And it's waiter service too, is what I like. I don't like.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't really like the counter serve stuff.
Right. So we'll be doing that for lunch, and then after that, we might go to this other place in the Woodlands. They do a keto cupcake.
Oh,
it's a chocolate. They call it the 007.
Yes, it's so good, y'all.
So if we do that, I might order it ahead of time. So
yes.
Because it is, when they're out, because they fresh bake everything. So whatever they bake for the day, that's what's available until they're gone.
Should we get a dozen of them? Would that be enough?
I don't know if we need.
What are you gonna eat then?
Oh goodness, Heath. But I might pre-order like that week. I'll maybe pre-order.
I'll be like, surprise! Guess what I got?
We can pick it up then Saturday and have that as our treat.
Yes, for a dozen of us.
Of course, I know at the pre-cruise dinner there'll probably be a dessert as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be like a little treat if we want it. So
yes, we do.
We'll figure out.
Put my foot down.
Well, you can't have it because that one has almond flour.
I can have one.
No, which we always get Heath, and again, it does have some sugar, but they also have gluten-free cupcakes and desserts. And so we always get you a gluten-free one, remember?
I can have one.
Well, you don't want the gluten-free, you want to get the 007?
I don't want the sugar.
Okay. We'll see what happens then.
I'm just going to get my own.
But, yeah, so we're going to do that, and then we'll probably go back and enjoy all of our spoils for the day, and then get ready for the pre-cruise dinner, because I believe that's at 6 that night. And then we got to make sure because I think the next morning we got to get up at like 6 in the morning, because we have to be at the hotel by like 8 or 9. I can't remember exactly. So that we meet the bus and we're there. So yes, that is the plan. So it's
getting real.
It is like less than, I know yesterday was like 19 days till Shauna arrives.
Oh, wow.
Like time is just flying by.
I got a few more things I got to do around the house. This weather's not helping me.
I know.
You got to do it outside too.
Usually it's April where it pours so much. I mean, here it is May and it's just crazy. But yeah, so we're super excited. I can't wait. And we really talked a lot about
everything but MS. Well, I mean, because I think part of it is I'm actually doing really well with it.
Yeah.
But y'all may have heard it last night on the
live
on our Friday night feast. I'm having like really bad headaches, like right in the back of my head right here. And
you having it again right now?
No, not today. It hadn't hit me.
Well,
it did earlier while we were cooking.
we did put a cold compress on it.
But yeah,
But
but
you were
Trey's saying
like-
it might be stress relief, but I don't feel stressed out about anything really. So I don't know.
Well, and you know what though? You did make the electrolyte drink, so maybe that
That's what's in here
helped.
right now.
Yeah. You had your Redmonds. So I don't know. That's something.
And I'm going to bring in a bunch of those with us on the cruise too.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you bought, well, you got that, I don't remember where you got it from. You got that one reusable bottle. Remember?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, I know what it was. You got it from KetoCon.
Yes.
Caboodle Bride gave it to you.
Yes. Thank you, Brian.
And then we got the refusable bottles from Elements. We figured we're putting those two because y'all.
Because they're lightweight.
Yeah, we have these from 2KK. These are huge. They're really good bottles. You can sell. We use them all the time.
Yeah, we've had them for I guess like 3 years now.
Yeah.
It was like their first one.
Right, and they're too heavy to take on the cruise and lug around and pack and everything.
Like especially this that's full of ice water. Like,
Right.
whoa, it's a heavy one. Like you can knock somebody out with
Right?
this thing.
I mean, it's a really good mug. It's too big to carry around and take it on a trip with us. The other mugs we were just saying will be perfect.
Like this is a self-defense mug.
Right.
You carry this with you, and it's like if somebody tries to pull something, well, they're a goner.
And I'm watching everybody because I'm just curious and everything. It was like we're the only ones that still use it.
Well, because this was like I think one of
it's so
their
heavy.
first ones,
And
now
we're
they
old school.
have different. They've offered different ones throughout the years.
Right.
So, but I really like this shape, the model, and everything. It's actually my favorite.
Yes.
But,
This is my everyday. We use it.
right. And yeah. So, well, and it is just handy. And then plus you have the soda package.
Yes.
So I think you get a mug with that as well.
Right. That's the one I gave last year. I gave it to Shauna so she can have her souvenir mug.
Right.
Because I have plenty of those, and I have this mug I use. I don't need souvenirs.
Yeah.
We have plenty of those at the house.
We have like a whole shelf of different
souvenirs. So.
But yeah, so I'm just super excited. Tell me y'all what you're looking forward to most.
Yeah, and so like I said, I feel like this week my MS is actually doing fine. Because like I said, I'm eating correctly, I'm taking my meds, I'm exercising.
Oh, and that, speaking of the meds, that's when because, with everything, we had an insurance change. And so that's been a lot of
up in the air, trying to figure out.
Up in the air and calls and everything back and forth. And you were getting down to like, what did you have, like 4 or 5 pills left?
Yeah.
And they went ahead and sent you a 30-day supply.
Right.
So
I'm good.
So, and I think we're good because I got a notification, like I didn't even know my job did this, but because I have an HSA, they sent me a notification saying, oh, did you want to put in an HSA claim for your recent expense? And they showed your medication on there. Your medication, $12,500.
A year?
No, for that 30 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
$12,500
for a 30-day supply?
For a 30-day supply.
Wow.
And so they went ahead and paid. So our deductible was $3,500. They already paid that because of that prescription.
And it's crazy, y'all.
Thank goodness because we have there's a MS where they help people who can't afford the freaking medication. Like who can afford that kind of medication?
And it's crazy too. The pill I take, I don't know if y'all can see it. It's like the size of this pen right here.
Yeah.
The end of the pen. It's a little bitty pill. I've lost it a couple of times trying to fill my pill bottle because it's so small.
But
and then I didn't put it on camera. So it's like that small, y'all.
That 1 month supply.
I take one a day.
We met the deductible for the whole year.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? And they were like, well, we didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. Thank God.
Right.
Because our MS help, our assistance, they covered all of that, which is a lifesaver. Because otherwise, I don't know who could even afford that. I mean, that's just, who can afford that kind of medication every
When they
month?
started it, they had me on 7 milligrams. The same size pill. But then after my last flare-up, when they sent out the steroid, they sent out a nurse, a technician or whatever. They came out to the house 3 times one week and gave me steroids. And then they did some other stuff on me and reran the test and everything on it, and they bumped me up to a 14 milligrams. But it's the same size pill.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I figured with a bigger dose, they would give me a bigger pill. But that's me, being a layman, not knowing any different. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a pharmacist, so.
Or a health practitioner now.
Right. But I'll play one on TV.
But, yeah, so they, at least that seems like everything's finally back in place as it should be, and hopefully.
In fact, the new bottle they gave me, I'm going to open it tonight when we get home and fill my tray, my little pill bottle, my pill tray for the next week. Yeah. I'm completely out of the old ones, but I have that one I can open and start new. So,
well, good.
Yeah.
Well, and what I was going to say too is the new prescription the doctor wrote. He actually wrote it for 90. So it'd sure be nice if we could get a 3-month supply.
That would be. It makes life a lot easier. I don't have to fight with this stuff. And see what's crazy too is I got an email, another one today, from the other company that because y'all with this pill I cannot go to the pharmacy and fill it myself and just pick it up. They have to send it to me.
It's a special.
Well, there's only 2 ways they can do it. They can either send it to the local pharmacy and then I go pick it up, or they can send it directly to me. Well, that's a no-brainer. Just send it to me then.
I know.
But where's I going with this?
I don't know. But so it's no longer under CVS.
Yeah.
It's a new specialty
But
pharmacy.
they keep sending me emails telling me I need to reorder because I'm out.
Well, of course they want the $12,000.
Right. So I need to get a hold of them and let them know.
Hey,
no mas. I got a new company.
Right.
Sorry.
Which is funny because you actually sent them a thing to transfer the prescription from them to the new one. You think that would have clued them in, but
Yeah.
0.4 miles. I'm gonna exit.
Yeah.
I don't know what this exit. They don't even have a name for the exit.
See that used to be one of my subdivisions we were passing up right here.
It just says Gulf Freeway, but here it says Hitchcock. Which is it?
Well, because you take this exit to go to Hitchcock.
Oh, okay.
And all this is still under construction.
Yes. But, yeah, and look, we have rambled, I think, for almost an hour now, haven't we?
Yeah. Because y'all told us you loved riding in the car with us. Well, here, this is what you get.
Yes. But thank y'all so much.
Yes, thank you.
I feel like ask us any questions that you have with regard to the cruise or Houston or what to do. Please let us know. And then, do you want to go ahead and show them your food then for the week?
Yeah, sounds like a good spot to do that. Show them right here. Week 124 breakfast. I'm once again having my sausage, egg, and cheese. Sunday lunch, I'm having some Campechana and some homemade guacamole. Sunday night dinner, and I'm having the rest of that Campechana. And you see I have 2 bags of pork rinds here. I'm going to pick through both of them and grab the biggest ones. And then all the little bitty guys that I can't scoop with, I'll use those to make some pork rind panko. On this mandatory meaty Monday, I got 3 meatloaves or Heath loaves. But I seasoned it with my special blend taco seasoning. I did equal parts of that and then did a little bit of this Hatch chili seasoning. We got this at discount at Sprouts one day and it's been floating in the cabinet, so I figured why not use it. And now I'm fixing to top it with I think a 1/4 cup of this roasted green chili sauce. I'm going to probe this and make sure it's actually done cooking. I've already baked it for 350 for 45 minutes, so I'm going to check the temp on it, top it with this chili seasoning, or the roasted green chilies, and then throw it back in the oven for, I don't know, about 15 minutes probably. I need to turn up the broiler though, because I have some bacon wrapped asparagus in there I'm going to do as well. That'll go on the plate with it. Now I said I was going to do a 1/4 cup, but it's ended up being a 1/2 cup on there, and I was able to empty the the whole jar. So that's nice. I'm just going to smooth this out. I'm going to change hands because I'm right-handed. And I'm going to slip this back in the oven for, like I said, about 15 minutes. Try and crisp up that bacon and that asparagus. And then I'll plate. Y'all, I made another batch of our Instant Pot queso. Dang, this looks so good. And I'll be eating on this for the rest of this week. And now we got it plated up. So I'm having a couple of slices of that meatloaf and some bacon wrapped asparagus, all of it topped with my Instant Pot chorizo queso. Monday night dinner, I got a bowl full of pork rinds topped with my chorizo con queso and a few red tomatoes. Of course they're red tomatoes. Red onion and tomatoes. Tuesday lunch, and I'm having some more of that Tex Mex meatloaf and bacon wrapped asparagus topped with my chorizo queso. Tuesday night dinner, we got some Instant Pot corned beef, some sautéed cabbage, and some cream cheese stuffed jalapenos. Wednesday lunch, and I got a dirty egg scramble. I got some bacon, asparagus, chicken sausage, poblano in there, along with some sour cream, a little bit of queso, tomatoes, red onions, and then I topped it with some of my MCT hot sauce. Wednesday night dinner, I got a big old hunk of that Tex Mex meatloaf, chorizo, queso, stuffed jalapenos and mushrooms, and I got a huge tomato I'm going to eat. I need to eat the whole thing before it goes bad. It's a necessity. It has to be done. Thursday lunch, and I'm having another slice of that Tex Mex meatloaf, some chorizo, queso stuffed mushrooms, and a little cup of smashed avocado. Thursday night dinner, we're having that corned beef once more time, along with some sautéed cabbage and some chorizo, queso stuffed jalapenos, and I put a little smartass hot sauce over all of it. Friday lunch, and I'm just having some more of that chorizo queso along with some chicharrones. Saturday lunch, I got some mega, or at least one mega breadstick and one little mini. We tried doing a fathead dough pastry, but it turned out to be breadsticks. So this is what I'm having for my lunch today. Saturday night dinner, and we're at Ruggles Black, and I got my normal. I got they call this dish the Big Sexy. It's a double bone-in pork chop topped with a egg.
Duck egg.
A duck egg. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. I wanted to say quail egg. That's way too big to be a quail. And here's my little side dish with all of my stuff. But y'all, this is so good. This is what I get every time we come here.
To West Alabama Street.
Whew. Alrighty, folks. So we finished up with the celebration of life for my stepdad. And, milled around for a bit, visited, and then we went and ate dinner by ourselves. Oh, this is gonna be fun trying to get out of here, y'all. There's a big traffic jam.
We had a date night.
Yeah, we just finished up at Ruggles Black, and I got the Big Sexy. You would have seen the video on it just now. Y'all, that's so good. It's a double bone-in pork chop. And typically, because Shelly doesn't really care for pork chops, especially not ones from the store, like the regular grocery store.
1,000 feet, turn right onto Kirby Drive.
So I generally get a pork chop while we're out, because I love them.
Yeah.
So it's easier to do that way. No, it's fine.
I'm just picky on, it's like a texture thing. Oh,
There is one.
it's been raining. My shoes are like wet.
There's one guy at the farmer's market we like to get his pork chops.
We like to get his chops.
Take the next right onto Kirby Drive.
But
So
the last
I'm
few
so
times,
full.
I know. Last few times we went though, he wasn't there. So I'm so full too, y'all. Oh my gosh. I
And
got
you saw the side dish that comes with it too. I didn't hardly even touch it. She ate some of it.
Oh, I just
Continue
had
for
a
4
bite of
miles.
your
Mash.
mashed cauliflower.
Yeah.
But I got the carbonara, which is kind of like my favorite, I guess, there. It's just really good. And I get an extra. This guy charged for the side of the sauce. The last guy didn't, but anyhow. And I'm glad we got to get in early.
Yes.
That was awesome. So we're already done, and it's not even 7 o'clock yet. We're done.
Because we made the reservation for 6:30, and then we saw we could get here a lot sooner. But Open Table wouldn't let me change the reservation because it's too close to the time. So I called them, like, yeah, come on in, we can get you in.
Which I figured, because most restaurants are not busy,
Right.
like between 5 and 6, they usually aren't that packed, and that's how it was. Like for half the dinner, we didn't have anybody near us.
Yeah.
So that really worked out.
And then the
What
table
are you
behind
doing,
us,
dude?
or behind you anyways,
Yeah.
there's like 30 of them came sit down at once, and it looked like it was a bunch of high school kids. Like it looked like it was prom night.
Yeah,
It's cool.
so I'm guessing it must be prom, because everybody was dressed up.
Yeah.
And people, the guys were like in tuxes and stuff. Kind of cute. And of course, all the girls had real pretty dresses on. So that's really nice. It seems kind of like a hipster type place, huh?
Yeah.
Because it seems like the clientele is generally young, or does that mean I'm getting old when I'm like, look at all these kids
Well,
right
I
here?
think part of it too is the menu, because it's a keto, paleo, vegan
And-
restaurant. So
And CBD.
yes,
They have a whole CBD menu. They have paleo. So they're very, the chef is very focused on like healthy eating.
so that is kind of a hip new thing, kind of thing.
Right. And they're billed as the only keto restaurant in Houston.
Yeah.
Oh, see, my foot keeps.
A lot of other restaurants we've been to have a keto menu, but usually when they tell you that, there's like 2 or 3 items. This
Yeah.
place has a whole page.
Yeah, for the keto coffee to
Yeah.
the desserts, appetizers, like a full-on menu.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good about like some things you kind of tweak a little bit.
They have keto tortillas and tacos
And pizza.
and pizza, but all their keto flour is almond flour. So
so he don't get it. But he
I mean, I've
gets
had it before I figured I was allergic, and
Yeah.
it's good because we've been here several times.
Yeah, it's kind of like our special date night. Basically, when I'm feeling like I want like a whole keto meal and a keto dessert, that's
And
kind of
going
where
out
we
to
want to
eat.
go.
Yeah.
Right? It is a little pricey, but I enjoy having. It's just it feels nice when you go out to dinner to a nice fancy restaurant and you can actually order a dessert.
Yes. Because like for the same price, we could have went to like Fogo de Chao or something like that.
Yeah.
Dessert joint. But she couldn't get dessert then.
I know. I'm so weird.
No, it's
But
fine.
sometimes, and they make a lemon cheesecake,
Yeah.
and it's really good.
And I got the
Sunday.
yeah. I mean, I
And-
could have got the cheesecake too, but again, that's the almond flour on the dough. So.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
Or like
it's
crushed, I guess, really. But
it's nice, and but man, that's basically all I ate today. I mean, I did have a couple bites earlier. I guess you would call it a snack, because we were doing a couple videos, so I had a couple bites, but not a full-on meal. So this was basically my only meal of the day, and I was like, well, it doesn't look that big, but dang, keto food is so freaking filling, y'all.
yes.
And especially the carbonara with the cream and the butter, and oh my gosh, it's so good. But yeah, it's kind of a ritzy part of town, and so
It's
there's a
River
lot
Oaks,
of
isn't it?
yeah. So there's a lot of bougie people there.
And the whole what do you call it? Property is kind of shoehorned in.
Yeah.
And so they only do valet because their parking lot is so small, and they really put the cars in next to each other. Like, we watched the guy get in the car, He had to fold her mirror in, and the car next to hers also. Opened the door, and then he got up on her the rear. What was it? Not the rear.
Runner.
Yeah, the sideboard. Stand on it, and he kind of wedged himself into the car. He had to do some special tricks. I was like, oh my goodness.
Good luck, dude, because that's a tight fit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just nice. And what's cute too is they actually light a candle on each of, like a real candle, not one of those little battery operated things that most restaurants give you. Like, it was a real candle with the wax.
That dripped on me because I moved it.
I know, but with the wax, like very I would call it Victorian style, where like their candlesticks have the wax that have like fallen all down it. But it's cute to me. It's romantic. But yes, it was very, very filling.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm miserable. And every time I'm like, oh, I'm going to get the dessert. And then I'm like, why do I do this? Because I'm always so freaking full.
Because it tastes good and you can actually order it.
I know. Even though I'm just like totally stuffed. Like when Dr. Berry says, eat till you're comfortably full. I ate until I was miserably full.
But you only do this every once in a while.
Right. Like you said, the last time I think we were here was for my birthday.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was our dinner, our week, or your week, really, right?
Yeah.
And, so, and it was nice too, because we were able to just kind of sit down with each other and really talk about, all of the planning going into the barbecue meetup and just getting everything discussed and trying to map out everything, right?
Yeah. So when we get home, speaking of the meetup, we actually gonna do a practice run to get our timing down on the brisket. I got an extra one. It's about the same size as the other 3 I'm cooking for y'all, and I am gonna do it. I'm gonna start cooking it tomorrow afternoon, early afternoon, to see exactly how long it's gonna take, so I know when to pull it. Because I'm doing what we figured out once before. We like doing what's called an overnight brisket, but you have to get it to at like 160 degrees, and then you wrap it. Well, you coat it in the beef tallow, and then wrap it in butcher paper, and then put it back on and let it cook until it's done.
Yeah.
And then you pull it at 205 and let it rest.
And that's the good thing about also prepping this, is the tallow that we're going to be making should also be enough to coat the other 3.
Yes.
So we won't be rushed having to make tallow then. We'll already have it made.
Right.
So that's exciting.
Yes. So, yeah. We got a big day ahead of me tomorrow. Long cook.
Oh, but it's worth it, right?
Yes, because I get brisket.
Are you going to take a nap on the drive home?
Am I allowed to?
You do whatever you want.
Yeah, but am I allowed to?
You're allowed to. And he says, am I allowed to? Like, when he gets sleepy, like, do I have a choice? Because you normally just pass out, and I just let you pass out, and I let you.
Right now,
but
though.
you know what I mean. He passes out, and then he'll wake up, and he'll be like, oh, how long was I out for?
In 1,000
Like
feet,
16
keep left
years?
to stay on Allen Parkway.
Right? You were, who was that? Not Rumple. Who was the guy?
Rumpelstiltskin?
Yeah, who was the one that slept for like 100 years or something?
I don't remember, honestly.
Keep left to stay on Allen
never big
Parkway,
in
then
fairy
use the
tales.
right lane to take the I-45 North ramp.
All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this week as well. And
Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget, every Friday night, 6:30 Central, we'll go live for the Friday night feast. We'll cook up an entree, maybe a couple little snacks, show y'all how to do it, and we'll spend the rest
Use
of
the
the evening
right lane to
just
take
chewing
the
the fat with all of our
I-45
friends
North
in the
ramp,
Hungry
then
Horde.
keep right
Hope
at
you
the
all
fork.
tune in. We'd love to have you over for dinner. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
stay tuned to see all of our wonderful channel members.
Keep right at
Thank
the fork.
y'all. Bye.